Welcome to A New World News with hosts Dawn Piercy and Rebecca Mahan, where we are breaking through and bringing you new topics every week from around the world. Tune in every Thursday, replenish and refresh. Welcome back to A New World News. We're picking up where we left off last week with the new topics from around the world, replenish and
Wondering
refresh.
how through this dig that they discovered not only the archaeological facts have proven what the name of this particular tribe was,
Right.
and there's more to it than just bones.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot more to it than just bones. Make no bones
So
about it.
now, if you run your DNA test, you might be able to figure it out. You can go to 23andMe or Ancestry.com and see if you are related to the bones in Idaho.
Or you can go to Family Tree DNA too, and they do a family.
Oh, yes,
finder
yes, yes.
And they'll bring up dig sites where they found you at.
Actually, because of this will probably add another component to the genetic research that they're doing. They'll be able to open up more information. If you're already using the site and you've had your DNA done, you might get further information about your own background because of this.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be really cool. I know that I've had it done. Have you had it done?
Oh, yeah. It was the most fascinating thing I ever did. And in fact, I really have to plug 23andMe on this one, because I did two to compare results.
That's what I was wanting to do. I want to do that too. How did it work out? Tell us.
Well, I had spent hundreds of dollars doing the whole thing on Ancestry.com. Okay.
My.
Doing research. Because it basically costs about $200 a year. So.
What?
Yes.
What? I paid $59.
Yeah. So anyway, long and short of it is I didn't do their DNA test for a long time. And then there was this advertisement for 23andMe, and it was like the Mother's Day special or something. I don't know. And so for $60, you could get this. And then when you got to looking at it for the extra other $60, you could get a whole health history on yourself.
Right.
And I thought, all right, okay, I'm going to do this. Well, I decided, if I'm doing this, I want to compare this to the results of Ancestry, because I've been doing genealogy research for so long.
Right.
And, I kind of wanted to check all this stuff out. So what I have found in comparison was that by far, 23andMe had a whole lot more information that they could provide to me. The only hindrance is that for those that are connected on Ancestry.com, they may not, because they've been doing genealogy research there, they may not go for this other test, and so you can't really connect yet. But there's a lot of people that are doing both, and so I have discovered quite a bit about myself. And one of the other things is 23andMe has another third-party connectors. One is called Gini, Gini Health, which is really cool because that tells you all kinds of stuff about your DNA too. So you don't have to redo a DNA test. They get their results directly. You agree to it, you give them permission, and you get it from 23andMe. So I've got a couple things going. And one of the cool things about 23andMe is every time they have developed a new test that have results that apply to your specific DNA, and I don't know how they figure this out, but they will send you an email and say, here, go check this out. This is more information about you. And so this is what brings to mind what can happen with these bones. So the researchers will be doing testing on this, and we may find something that then helps us with the genealogy and migration or whatever. They're going to be able to discover a lot based on these bones. Right. So this is cool.
This is awesome. Now, the family tree DNA that I got done, I got the family finder done, and that actually gave me my ancient origins and where my family started back at thousands and thousands of years ago. It also gave me dig sites worldwide where my DNA has been found, as well as allowed me to find new family and cousins, some that were adopted out, that were my second cousin. So,
Wow.
yes, and that is the family finder, and it picks up from the maternal and the paternal. And then you can actually get more stuff done. You can get, the father side, the paternal, you can get the maternal done separately, and it'll find even more out. But it matches your chromosomes, and it'll show you how many markers you share with your cousins. It was amazing. I found out that 46% of my ancient DNA is Egyptian, and 44% is Assyrian, and 10% from Georgia and the Caucasus Mountains. And
Wow.
then it showed the migration path and where we settled.
See, that's similar to what this has. And what some people say, I don't need to know that. I'm going to tell you, it was such an eye opener for me because I knew certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to discover a lot more and then also discover things about my own personality. Like, well, now I know why this is
Really?
like this.
Really? And that's 23andMe. I'm going to have
Yes.
to check that out.
Yes. I mean, what's really cool about this is when you're doing all these different discoveries, you can find out certain things that are in your genes,
Mm-hmm.
things that are passed down. Like, so I had this innate desire from my young childhood to being a police officer. And through a lot of my research, and this isn't through 23andMe, but just a lot of my research, I discovered that there were many law enforcement officers throughout different parts of my tree, which I thought, wow, the genes are being passed down and I got whatever it was. But there's other stuff too that you will be able to learn. And it's really neat to be able to have that information. And the other thing is, if there was a story in your family about certain things that, like your background, your heritage, you thought, well, I'm only this, or I'm just this, and you get your report back and you find out you have other things, it's really kind of neat.
Right. Well, I had a few grandparents, a handful of grandparents actually, that was on the Trail of Tears. Okay. They checked into Tahlequah, Oklahoma. They got their roll numbers. I find out that I'm not Native American when I grew up believing I was Native American and found out I wasn't. My
Uh-huh.
ancestors had walked the Trail of Tears. They were freemen. They were not Native American. But they said that they were Native American mixed, but it was so far down. By the time
Uh-huh.
the ones that were even on the Trail of Tears, they were like 1/16th. So none of the native genes showed up on my DNA test. Not any
That's
of them.
interesting.
I'm 100% European. Well, 96% European, with 2% trace DNA to the Middle East, Mesopotamia area, and
Wow.
then 2% trace DNA to Africa, which is out of Egypt. And I was like, and it went with the migration path. And on my
Uh-huh.
family tree, it actually, all these places on my DNA, they were showing up on my family tree. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a walk through history. So it was really cool. But like what
That
you
is
said, and they also say that we can carry memories of our ancestors for like thousands of years.
really.
Yeah, that it's in our DNA. So, like, okay, I'm a reverend doctor. Well, I find out that for thousands and thousands of years, we have reverend doctors in our family. We have philosophers in our family. We have writers in our family, entertainers in our family. And all these things that I've been doing, like what you said, you had a lot of police officers in your family. You always wanted to be a police officer. Well, I always knew ever since I was little that I wanted to work in the entertainment industry. And by the time I was 10
Mhm.
years old, I was interviewing people on the front porch. So it was just, it's kind of like maybe in
Yeah.
my DNA. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really interesting findings on this. And talking about Native American, and mine popped up where I do have Cherokee. And so, of course, I'm having this conversation with my dad. Oh, yeah, your great great grandfather. And I'm like, where has this been my whole life? to get this information,
Right.
and all from this DNA test, and you look at it because it'll tell you what side it's on, maternal or paternal.
And not only that, Rebecca, but how was it? Oh, my mind just went blank.
This is exciting.
Well, yeah, it is exciting, but it's like with the family tree and everything like that. It's and see, I was raised a lot of, you know, I speak some Cherokee, and you know, and it was the Cherokee that my family was enrolled with. Well, when they did away with the Freeman Act, the Dawes Rolls, you know, of course that took everything away. But yeah, so it is what it is. It is what it
This is
is.
interesting.
So yeah, absolutely. This is sugar.
Artifacts. Here we go. What is seeing this just I mean, just these bones alone created a nice little conversation for us too.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Heck yeah.
pretty neat.
So and it's you know, like you with family history, you know, you go back so far, it's really exciting um to go back and see. Now, I don't know if you have any lines to Adam and Eve. I know that everybody does, but I found several on mine so far, and of course, there's always more work being done. It's never
Okay,
complete.
so in answer to your question, I haven't had enough money to keep going that far. So at one point I got to like the 1400s on
Okay.
one side of the family, but and then here's really interesting. On the other side of the family, I can't get anything past like grandparents.
Well, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to tell you this. If you go, and for anybody, and I'm going to do an episode sometime to where I'm going to help people build their family trees step by step. You can go to, was it familysearch.org? It's completely free. It's a living tree. They have archives there. Also, when you're doing source indexing, you can go to Find a Grave. And that usually
Yes.
the grave archives usually have their parents and everything like that. Well, all the sources in the familysearch.org are completely free at no charge to help the public. So that may give you a one up on that. But what I was going to say, I remember now. Did you know, and I don't know if our audience knows this, that DNA and ethnic origin are completely different? DNA is
So
what
tell
your
us a
bones
little
are
bit
made
about that.
of what you're made of. And then your ethnicity is where your family lived and where they settled.
There you go.
So there's a big difference. So ethnically, I'm 74% British, 18% or 14% Scandinavian, and 8% Eastern European. Yeah,
I'm ready for that accent, Dawn.
I have none. I have the worst accents in the world.
This should be natural.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, absolutely. Now, if you enjoyed a New World News and you enjoy these topics, please click like, comment, subscribe, don't miss any episodes, and share so other people can enjoy these topics too, get the resources that they need, spread the news about autism, spread the news about cell phones and why they're bad and why they should not be in the classrooms, even though people don't want to hear that. But face to face communication is very important in this world. And I think that's something that we forget about all too often with the joys of social media. And I'll leave that at that. And don't buy vapes off the street. And,
What's best closer right there?
yes, and cell phone safety and social media safety and family history. So come enjoy the topics, share. We're available on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Celebre.media. Just check the TV guide for show times. And this is Dawn Piercy and Rebecca Mahan signing off. Until next time, keep it real.
Ciao for now.
Ciao.